YouTube. Happy Thursday to you. Got a serious question for you. You getting close to that retirement age? We all gonna be there someday, hopefully, if the cards are stacked in our favor. But if you are, my question to you is, how much do you have to retire on? Do you have anything? Have you started a 401k plan? Ever? Do you have any type of savings? Well, some of you do, some of you don't. But I'm going to give you a scenario. This is not, by any stretch, tax advice. Nor is it financial advice. This is just one man talking to you, expressing his opinion. You take it for what it's worth. But let's say you have a 401k savings that you started with your employer. Let's say you currently have one. Let's say you started one years back and you haven't contributed to it in a very long time. Let's just say you don't have a lot of money in this 401k savings. Let's pretend that that dollar amount is under 100,000. Ask yourself this question: can you retire on $100,000? It may sound like a lot of money. It may sound like it'll go real far. But let me tell you something. That ain't nothing to retire on. You'll go through that money so quickly, probably within the first year. Then what? Then what do? You get your butt back in the workforce is what you do. Because you're going to be forced to. So the scenario I'm bringing up to you is, if you have X amount of years before you plan on retiring, but you ain't got no real savings anywhere, whether done on your own or done through a 401k, then you might as well get used to reality, because you're probably going to be working till you drop. Sorry to bring that reality to you, but that just may be your scenario. Because a little bit of money like that won't take you very far in retirement. So, what if you have a huge amount of bills, huge amount of debt going on in your life right now? Would life be a little more comfortable if you had a large sum of money to knock that debt out, knock that debt down? Would it take away a little bit of stress from you week to week, check to check, month to month? Well, in that scenario where the example is you have $100,000, take from your money. It's your money. Use that money towards something that it can better your situation in. Of course, Uncle Sam's going to take his cut, a big cut of the pie. Close to 45% of whatever you have, if you withdraw the whole amount. But if that remaining set of money can come in handy for your situation and relieve your stress and help you out in any type of way, don't forget that you have that money there. Because if you're not contributing to it on a regular basis, if you're not putting large sums amount of money in it and you plan on retiring soon, that little bit won't go too far. Won't help you out too much in the end. So if you got some issues going on at home, you got some financial situations you need to address, some bills to knock out, children to help put through school, a wedding to pay for, whatever the case is. You got some money sitting over there in that retirement plan. And I'm sorry to say, if you don't have a $200,000, $250,000 plus, that's going to be a short-lived retirement for you. You got a car note that you're struggling to pay, but you need that car. You need that newer vehicle. Get those payments out of the way. Use that retirement savings for good, for something that you can use and benefit from right now. Because you might as well say you're not going to be able to retire, regardless if you got that $100,000 in there. So if you let that reality sink in and realize that the possibility of you not retiring can come to pass, then maybe you can find better use for that money. Maybe that can resolve an issue that you have today. Because you see, life hits hard. I made a video about the rat race a while back. It's on the channel. That's the idea, the dream. Work, work, work. Till your fingertips run dry. Work till you drop. Keep on doing it. You might eventually get a home. You might eventually get a nice car. You might eventually get that white picket fence with a dog in it. But that's not reality for everybody. It's not reality for everybody. First, you need credit to do all that. So knock out a huge amount of debt that you might have. At the time, or simultaneously, your debt credit score, pardon me, will increase. Which will allow you to have the potential for more debt. If that's what you need. If you need it, you need it. But there's good debt and there's bad debt. How you use your debt is up to you. Well, you're going to always have debt to deal with in this walk of life. You own your home? You purchased a home X amount of years ago? Is there any chance at all that home is going to get paid in full? Think about it. Be real to yourself. Is that home ever going to be paid off? Are you going to be around in 30 years to make that very last payment? If all goes well along the way. You got a $500,000 home? You got an $800,000 home? $1 million home? Are you really ever going to be able to pay that home off? Your time might expire unexpectedly. When your kids get that home, guess what they're going to do? They're going to find the biggest for sale sign they can find, stick it on the front door. Because see, your dreams aren't and won't be your kids' dreams. They may not want the headache of home ownership. They may not want to live in a region of the nation that your home is in. They may not want to deal with any of that. Let's say you bought that home when your children were just born. You expect to be paid in full on that home in 30 years. Well, guess what? That child is now going to be 30 years older. See, I was real smart in math. You know, got to pat myself on the back. He bought a home when he was a newborn. 30 years later, the child is 30. That's right. Genius level. Got to keep you entertained, don't worry. The point I'm making is, when that child is an adult, and when that child is of age, they are going to have their own lifestyle to attend to as well. They may have their own family to deal with. They may have their own home to deal with. And heaven forbid something happens to you, that house will no longer belong to the family, because you have an exorbitant amount of debt within these homes that are truly outrageous, regardless if you have 30 years to pay them. But you know what you do have in those homes? In most cases, you have equity, which is a set amount above the purchase price value of that home. That's money you can withdraw using the home as collateral. Why would you do that, Peanut? I'll tell you why. Because, again, you may have unnecessary debt that's in your life. You may have things that you want to accomplish that takes finances within your life. Don't just go 30 years of your life handing money over to the bank for that home that may never, ever produce a deed for you in the end. So while you have the opportunity and the advantage over some people to actually have a home, use that equity within that home. Take a loan out from the equity within your home. That's time and money that's been adequated to you simply for being a homeowner. As the market goes up, the value of your home goes up. There's your equity. If you realize that I may not actually have the means of paying this home off in my lifetime, your lifetime, then flip the script. Turn that asset into an asset. Because right now it's not an asset because you don't own it. It's just another item that you're paying for. It's temporarily yours. Stop making payments on it and tell me how that goes. So use that home's equity to knock out your debt. You only get one life. You get one go round. Don't struggle every morning, every night, every month, every year of your life trying to take care of debt, living just to take care of debt. Use the tools at hand to make life just a little bit easier. Because retirement is hard for a lot of people. A lot of people never see it. A lot of people have to keep working, unfortunately. I've admitted that to myself, and I plan on being a worker till the day I drop. Fortunately for me, I perform a job that I actually love doing. That's the key. By now, at this time in your life, you should be doing something you actually love doing. So it's not really work. You would almost, to a degree, do that same line of work if the pay wasn't the same. If the pay really wasn't there at all. If you had other income coming in because you enjoyed doing that type of work. So my suggestion, my advice, not from a professional level, is to use your resources to live comfortable in this life. Don't just break your back for the man, making him richer, making them more money every single year. Yet your bills are stacking and stacking and stacking. And you're twiddling your thumb trying to figure out, how am I going to make this happen? See, that creates stress. Stress in itself will kill you, will harm you, will destroy you mentally, will destroy your body physically. And again, to tell you that if you have $100,000 or less, $200,000 even or less, and you plan on retiring in the near future, that means you don't have too much more money that you can put aside in that plan, in that 401k plan, in that investment plan, whatever type you may have. So if you don't think you can live off that amount of money, use that money to your advantage. Remember, you know how hard you had to work for that money, that savings, that retirement plan. You put in a lot of sweat and tears and years for that little bit amount of money. Now, if you've done well for yourself in this life, and you've had a retirement plan since a very young age, 18, 19, whatever the case is, and you're up there, then congratulations. Some of us started too late. Some of us didn't have the mentality to do so. Some of us didn't have the know-how. We were naive to the fact that you should start a retirement plan early on in life. But if you don't have it, you don't have it. If you have a little bit, you have a little bit. If you have a little bit, you don't have enough. So you got to do what you got to do today. It's your money. It's your funds. It's your savings. Like I said, Uncle Sam is going to get his cut. We can't get out of that. That's life. He always gets his cut. Even when you check out of here, he gets a cut for that too. So if you want to live your life plentiful, if you want to live your life having fun, if you want to live your life without restrictions, if you want to live your life and travel, you want to live your life and do whatever it is that makes you happy, well, unfortunately, you need money to make things happen in this life. And money, believe it or not, brings happiness. But if you're struggling, trying to figure out how you're going to come up with money, just so that you can breathe a little bit better, you got to look at all avenues and find your resources. Maybe you can't get a loan from the bank. That's just another debt anyhow. But you go and retrieve your money that's in this savings, in this retirement plan, that's not enough to retire on in the first place. Live today. Use that money on whatever you need it on today. Get debt free today if you have enough put aside for that. Don't you want to enjoy life? Don't you want to have the things that you want to have? Well, you're not going to be able to save up for everything you want in this life. You're not going to be able to be a lucky, fortunate one and win the lottery. If you do, you got my contact info. But there are things that we want in this life. I keep telling you all the time on my channel, there's ways about getting things to come to pass in your life. There's always an avenue to make it happen. You got to use this thing right here. You can't be scared. You got to use your resources. You got to figure out a way to change your situation. Now, if you're a little bit younger, disregard this information. And if you have a retirement plan, disregard this information. As long as you're putting into a retirement plan. Stack as much as you can, especially if the company matches what you're putting in. Take advantage of that. But I'm talking to the ones that have very small amounts in their retirement plan. And by the time they get to the age of retirement, in reality, they probably won't really have anything because the value of the dollar is diminishing day by day. Day by day. That's why the whole financial system is being revamped. Told you about that too. So as I wrap this up, I remind you this is not financial advice. This is just one man's opinion that may be helpful to you and your situation. But you gotta live to the fullest as best you can. You can't just wish and want for everything you like, everything you want in this life. You gotta make it happen for yourself, a lot of times. Unless you got somebody that's providing for you. Unless you have a silver spoon that was born with you in your mouth. That's a different scenario altogether. But have a little fun in life. Use your money the best way it can be possibly used for your scenario. For your remaining time here on this planet. And if you have to work until you have to work, until you can't work no more, so be it. Remember, working keeps you active, keeps your mind and your thought process continually rolling and spinning. Working keeps your body active, keeps the joints moving, keeps everything the way it should be going. Keeps everything well oiled. There's many stories of people that retire, and within that first year, that's it for them. Because they don't know what to do with themselves anymore. Their body is used to ripping and running and taking care of tasks and duties. Next thing you know, your body's sitting down watching movies on the couch every day. You're not learning anything. You're not doing anything. You're not being creative whatsoever. Your body becomes stiff and rigid. Next thing you know, you can't walk. You can barely talk. Then you get comfortable with that. You get to the point where you don't want to do anything anymore. You get to the point where you can't, even if you wanted to, do anything anymore. So retirement is not necessarily a positive. Like I said, it's part of the rat race. They tell you, this is what you're supposed to do. And then you're supposed to do this. And then at the end, you're supposed to do this. No, you do what you want to do in this life. You choose your own path. Choose a narrow path. Not the one that everybody walks down. As long as you're happy. That's all that matters. As long as you know what you did made you happy, brought happiness to you. That's what you do. So don't think, I have to retire someday. Especially if you love doing what you do. You can do that forever. But just keep in mind, there are stories of people that have not lasted long after retirement. And those are the reasons why. Unless you pick up a hobby, or unless you're doing something that's keeping you busy, your retirement won't last long. So if you're going to have a retirement that won't last long, you might as well enjoy life before that happens. You might as well use your money that's tucked away in a 401k plan to your advantage today. If you don't have enough to retire on. If you have a good amount and a tax accountant declared to you that, yeah, if we do this and maneuver this and section this off, you can make things work for you, then you stick to that plan. But if you don't have a plan and you got nothing but drama and nothing but problems in your life today, and money could be the solution to that problem or to those problems, just saying. Enjoy your Thursday, everyone. That's all I got for you. You know, around here we keep it all the way peanut. Peace out.